Good morning, boys and girls. I'm going to do something a little unique today. I'm going to talk to you about hiking, about walking on trails, about going to a state park like I'm at right now, and reading a map and learning a little bit about navigating through trails. We call that orienteering. So we're going to talk a little bit about that this morning. It's a beautiful morning here, and I'm at a state park, and this is my trail map. And whenever you're at a state park, you're going to see a stand like this. Okay, and on that stand there's almost always going to be a trail map. Make sure you go to your box there if you don't have a state park pass, and make sure that you pay so you don't get a ticket. So let's look at our map here, boys and girls. There's almost always this quote on the map somewhere that says "You are here." So this is where I am right here, and we can see that there's some dashes right here that lead to a trail that's yellow. So these dashes are the first part of the trail, and you can see that there is a yellow trail there that goes in this kind of fashion. Looks like it makes a circle. Okay, that's one blazed color. There's also a red trail there. There is an orange trail. There's also a green trail. Now all of these trails, including this blue trail, all of these trails will be marked with a certain color on the map, and you can simply follow that color. Now you'll see that there's lots of different little trails that branch off of the main trail, and if you get on one of those trails may not be as well marked. If you read this sign over here, it says that we highly suggest starting with one of our blaze trails, which are marked by directional blazes. See the bulletin board. For an example, you can access a blaze trail from any one of our 5-day use parking lots. Okay, and then there's a little note there that says, to help protect our trails, we ask that patrons use our Blue Diamond Trail when conditions are wet. Now, one of the things that you guys will see here is you see a whole bunch of squiggly lines in here that are brown lines. Okay, and I know that the sun is behind me early this morning, so I know there's some shadows on this map. But those lines, I'm going to zoom in here. You see where it says 250 right there? Okay, right there in that area. That 250 represents the elevation above sea level. That's the altitude. Every new line that you see is 10 feet. Represents 10 feet. So this line's 250, that's 260, that's 270, and that's 280 right there. And this one would be 290. So if you trace this line, you have 290 that goes out here, and then 280 would be this one. So we're probably, this one will be 270. So we're probably right around 275 feet above sea level here. And what that allows you to do is see that kind of what your terrain is going to be like that you're hiking. So if we were to walk down the path here, which I'll show you in a moment, you can see that this is a very hilly walk. So you can just tell by the contours here how the lines are very close together, that this is a very hilly walk. And if you look all over this park, you'll see that the entire park is pretty hilly. And this park, it's not really a location where it's not very hilly, and you can get all the way up to about 400 feet above sea level, or as low as 150 feet above sea level. You can see there There's a body of water right here. There's a creek, and you can see that it gets very, very hilly down near that creek. And there's almost always lots of hills that are around the creek, and the creek would always be the low point. I don't know. I'm actually a phys ed teacher, and I'm doing a video for my kids right now. No, that's okay.
Sorry.
We'll bring you in live.
Okay.
I don't think it would be closed. I don't know why it would be. Is there tape down there? Or?
No, it's just the gate's closed. I didn't mean to interrupt, by the way.
No, you're good. You're good. That gate is sometimes closed if you just go around it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that the trails are closed.
Gotcha. Because last time I was here, it was just open, so I didn't know if they were like...
Yeah, no, they usually shut it at night. I don't think the park is technically open till 8 a.m., so
Okay.
I think they just probably haven't opened it yet.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Boys and girls, that was a live hiker. All right, let's come over here. And you can see some of the initial signs. First of all, you can't drive down this road. Pets need to be on a leash. Okay, pets are not allowed to run free. There's lots of runners and bikers that something like a dog could easily chase. There's also lots of horses at this particular park that you have to watch out for. They obviously do not need to be on a leash, but you need to watch out for them. And then we have a sign here that says, please use the Blue Diamond Trail during periods of wet conditions. So from this particular parking lot, all that I have as options right here are this road. And so if I were to go down to the very end of this road, the trail would split. Okay, the trail would split. And the reason we know that is because on our board here, we read the map. All right, so let's go back to our board. And I just showed you what you look at here. So if you were to walk down this trail this way toward the end, you'd have the option to go left, the option to go right, or the option to go straight. So you'd have to follow whichever direction you wanted to go. If you wanted to follow the yellow trail, then when you got down toward that end, you'd have to go straight, okay? Also, we have the important trail markers here, signals for left turn, right turn, or continue straight. Now, if you needed help, this is also important. These are your numbers to call in an emergency or to call for a park ranger. And you want to make sure that you have those numbers with you. So if you did get lost, you could call the ranger's office. And it's never a bad idea, boys and girls, to simply take a picture of this map here and take that with you. Okay, what are some other things you can do? You might hear there's a road behind me. Parks in this area are usually small enough, not too far away from main roads, so you can always listen for roads. Okay, also we have the sun up there. You guys see that? The sun is still rising here, and it's pretty early in the morning, so I know that that sun is out to the east, and I can make a pretty educated guess depending which direction I'm walking, where that based on where that sun is. So for example, if I were walking in this direction here and I wasn't sure exactly which way I was going on the trail, if I turn to my left, the sun is out to my left. So I know that the sun is to the east at this time of day. So that lets me know that I am walking south. If I were walking this direction and I wasn't sure where I was going on the trail and I turned all the way around, the sun is behind me now. So I'd know that I'm walking to the west, because east is the opposite of the west. And if I were walking, morning, if I were walking in this direction and I wasn't sure if I was going the right way, if I turned to my right, the sun is up in that area, so I would know that I was walking toward the north. And of course, if you were walking directly toward the sun, you would know you're in the east. So, boys and girls, how does that help? If the sun, when I park, this would be my trailhead. So right now the sun is behind me. So that means if I wasn't sure where I was and the sun was still behind me, that would mean that I was going the wrong way, because eventually, to get back to the parking lot, if I were going for a hike, that sun would need to be in front of me. If I start out with the sun behind me, then eventually the sun needs to be in front of me to get back. Now, if I decided to go for a super long walk and was gone for several hours, eventually that sun would start moving this way, and I'd have to take that into consideration. Okay. So, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this little lesson here. I'm going to get started. It's a beautiful day out here, a little chilly. What a beautiful day to get started with a nice hike. I'd encourage you to get to your state parks. They are open, and there are some protocols during this time at state parks, but you can get great exercise in. There's White Clay Creek State Park on the north side of Newark there. You can actually access the park pretty much from downtown Newark now. There's Lum's Pond, which is down in Bear. There's Brandywine Creek State Park up in Wilmington, which is a beautiful park, one of my favorites. And there's also Bellevue State Park, which is also in North Wilmington. Alapoca State Park, also in North Wilmington. So check out some of these state parks. Some very good trails, some great way to get exercise. Get out in nature a little bit, and you'll learn some things at these state parks. Very well done. Delaware has some of the best well-kept state parks in the entire United States. So, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this little lesson about reading a trail map and the importance of doing that, and also learning a little bit about orienteering just in this short video here. All right, join us tomorrow. We'll see you guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.